I'm supposed to be wiring this car, and I can't even find the wire because most of these wires, I can't even read anything on this. Yeah. Alright, how y'all doing out there? This is Pete over at D.I.Y. Auto School, Southwest Rod and Custom. I wire a lot of cars. Alright, besides wiring cars, I also build a lot of custom cars. Not just custom cars, but I also build a lot of fiberglass kit cars. And when you build these cars from scratch, or when you're restoring your vehicle, you have to rewire the car, alright, to make it even worth anything that is going to be reliable. I started looking at all this wire because I was going to go through it, and I'm going to throw some of it away because some of it's really actually useless. And this happens to be a piece right here. And what this is about using the white wire harness for the right job. Now, before we go any further, I want to let everybody know out there, I don't advertise. But when you do see me advertise for somebody, it's because I believe in their product. I believe in what they make, I believe in what they do, and I've done a lot of wiring, and what I want to do is show you a product that is 100% accurately perfect, that not just fits right and works right, but is easy to work with.
Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
So what we got here, we got a company that my friend Pete's been using for approximately 25 years, and if I think back, I believe that's when this company started, was about 25 years ago. Now, the brand that we're using and we're talking about, I'm going to show you, it's right there. Alright, this is called Kwik. You can visit them online, kwikwire.com, that's with a K, not a Q. And that's the company we're talking about because that is the wire harness that I use. I'm going to show you why here in a minute, but I want to talk about the company. They started out as a mom and pop company called St. Wire, and I actually ran across them when I was building kit cars. The kit car manufacturer company that I started building kit cars with actually supplied the wire harness for the vehicle. And what made me like the product the most is the way that it was so easy to use their product. And we're going to show you that in a second. But I just wanted to let you know who I'm talking about here because there's a lot of companies out there that sell wire harnesses. So what I want to show you is the wire harnesses that my friend Pete uses because I think it's very important that you wire your car properly and you use the right tools to do it with. Not just tools, but when I say tools, I'm talking about wire harnesses. If you don't have a good wire harness and you don't have solid structure on the wires that you're putting in your car, what's going to happen is you're going to end up with shorts. You're going to let your car sit for several days. The battery's going to go dead. This, that, and the other. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that know what I'm talking about, and it's very hard to track down a short once you get one when your car is all wired up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the wire harness that I use. Let's go over a few of them here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, and before we go any further, I want to let you know that these people aren't paying me a dime to do this. I'm not getting any free wire harnesses. I'm not getting anything out of it. And I'm doing this for you, the viewer, because it's very important that you have to use the correct wire harness when you're wiring up your cars. I get a lot of phone calls and a lot of emails about wiring cars up and what they should use, what I should use, how do I do this, how do I do that? And this is the main answer right here. This is your answer. Let's take a look at them. Let's see what we got. I want you all to pay attention right here. I got 4 boxes. There's 4 wire harnesses in here. The reason there's 4 wire harnesses in here is because these are all different wire harnesses. So we're going to start out with not just the wire harness, but we're going to start out with the manual. I want you to take a good look at this manual. You can see how professionally it's done. It's not just a piece of paper that's folded up. It's not several pieces of notebook paper that is stapled together, kind of like the list that I showed you right here, because this is what you get. This is what you get with the other guys right here. Every now and then I get people that bring their cars over that want me to wire them up, and they already have the wire harnesses. So when they have their own wire harnesses, of course naturally I'm going to go ahead and install it because they've already purchased it. But what I wanted to show you is this is the manual that you get with the Kwik wire. I want you to take a good look at that. You can see how detailed it is. We're going to look at that a little bit closer in a minute. It has a binder on it, and it's actually an instructional book that tells you how to wire your car. Everybody else that you get a wire harness from looks like this. This is the instructions that you get. I want you to pay close attention to that because we're only going to look at this once. I want you to see that there. Okay, there ain't no pictures. There's nothing here. All it is words that tells you this, that, and the other. And, you know, this is it. This is a situation. And to me, come on over here a minute, please. We got a guy with us. His name's Norm. We call him Nitpick Norm. Over here. Now, I want you to look at this manual. Okay, we do have a picture in this manual right here that shows us how to hook the alternator up. But if you were going to wire a car up, being a guy that's never wired a car up before in your life, I don't think you've ever wired a car, have you?
No, I haven't, Pete.
Okay. If you were going to wire this car up, and you get a manual like this, which is basically computer paper printed, and then you get this wire harness here that I want to show this to you. Okay. Can you see that?
Yes.
Which wire harness are you going to pick just by this right here?
I'm going to use that one. It's going to tell me.
Okay, look, it's got everything, okay? It's got pictures, all right? Look what we got here. Okay, do you see what we're talking about? It shows you where each individual wire goes. I mean, look what we got here, Norm. You see what I'm talking about? Look how detailed this is right here. It shows you each individual wire, what color wire we got. Look at the headlight diagram right here as it shows you even the headlight switch. All right, individual. This isn't just a diagram. This is basically a manual that you would probably keep all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty awesome deal. I want to go ahead and show everybody else. Look at the taillight section here. Can you see how that's laid out there? I mean,
it even shows you
wiring for dummies. That's what I'm talking about. You see what I mean? And then you get to the Ford. So it has each individual section. If you're going to do a Chevy, you got your Chevy section. If you're going to do a Ford car truck, you got your Ford car truck. All right, and then I'm sure there's a Chrysler back in here somewhere. And then, of course, we got the accessories. You got your dome light. It shows everything in detail. Do you see what I'm talking about? Now look what we got over here. Okay, look what the other guy's showing us. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying?
I hear you, Pete.
So anyway, Norm, after looking at what we just looked at, which one are you thinking of getting? Just by, if someone was going to show you, say, hey, I got this wire harness and I got this wire harness, just by the book.
You have to pick that one.
Yeah, I mean, look how professional it is.
No comparison.
There's no comparison, dude. All right, Norm, thank you for your opinion. Thank you very much.
You want me to put this
yeah,
back
put
in
that
that
back
box?
over in that guy's car. Because we're going to have to read that detailed. We can't just look at pictures, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So here's one good example of the professionality that these people actually put on you. You got all 3 American manufacturers in here that show you exactly where all your wires go. Nice binder, a nice professional operation going on. went over the manuals. You see the difference. You see the situation. Let's look at the main 4 wire harnesses that they sell. We're going to start out with our 8 circuit over here, which is just basically your standard, easy, simple, wham bam, thank you ma'am, nothing special wire harness. We got the 14 circuit, which is the most common wire harness that most people use. Then we got a 20 circuit wire harness. And then of course you got the Big Daddy wire harness, and you can see all the wires over here that come in this. This is our 22 circuit wire harness that really kicks it in hard. Now, I want to show you something that makes these wire harnesses special, that every wire harness that you get, all the way from the 8 circuit, okay, you see right there, there's an 8 circuit. I want you to pay close attention. Look at that little toggle switch there. That's a kill switch that kills the coil on your vehicle so nobody can steal it. All right, it's an on and off switch, and that is standard issue, all right, on these wire harnesses, and we're talking all the wire harnesses that they build. All right, I want you to take a look at this wire harness, and I want you to look really, really close at it, and I want you to see how it's well constructed. I want you to look at the aluminum panel on the back. I want you to look at the 6 screws that hold each fusible link in place. All the other boys only put 2 to 3 screws in there, because these actually lock in place as you put them together, so you really are not required to use all them screws. But on the other hand, Kwik Wire takes their time and makes sure that it's done right. Another thing that I like about Kwik Wire, it's got an aluminum cover. All the other guys come with either a rubber or a plastic cover that usually doesn't fit and it falls off. All their harnesses come with the full big size jumbo fuses that are easy to read, easy to replace. All their units come equipped with 2 flashers and 2 relays. You got your turn signals, you got your emergency flashers, you got your horn relay built in, and you also got an extra relay for an accessory. So that's a real nice option as well. Once again, here's that switch I was telling you about that's built on every single one. Very nice option. And what I'm going to do is I want to show you the quality of the wire harness that these guys produce. And what I'm doing, I'm going to take this aluminum backing plate off, and we're going to really get down and dirty on it and show you the high quality work that these guys put in to building a wire harness to make sure that you're a satisfied customer. So if we take our aluminum cover off, I want you to take a close look at the professionalism that goes in putting these wire harnesses together. You can see how nice and neatly all these wires are uniformly put in. They're all very, very tight. They have a nice clean pattern that comes out of the fuse box. Every fitting on these is crimped professionally and hand soldered to give you the longest durability and lifespan that you can imagine. So I'm going to go ahead and take some wire cutters. I want to show you some of the groups of wires that you get with this wire harness versus other wire harnesses. This is our radio group. Alright, you can see that they clearly state radio group. Alright, that's another good thing about these guys, is that it makes it so easy and simple. Every group of wires that you get are grouped. Okay, here this one says motor group. Do you see what I'm saying? So if we go ahead and unhook that, I'm going to go ahead and cut that wire tie. Let me get this other one. And while I'm doing this, I want to also explain that you get more than enough wire. There's probably enough wire, which is really amazing. There's probably enough wire in this wire harness to wire 2 cars up. So they make sure that you have more than enough wire to really wire it up. But when you unwire that, when you untie it, you can see that each wire is individually and professionally put in place into your motor group, which would be all your engine wires. I want you to pay attention to something else here. Do you see the writing on that? Can you read that? All right, do you see what we're talking about here? It's nice, thick, fat 14 gauge wire, copper wire at that. Everything is very legible, easy to read, unlike the competition. And I'm not going to mention the name of this company, but I want you to look at the thickness of their wire. All right, do you see that? This is Kwik Wire. This is the other guy. Look at the thickness of wire that you're getting. All right, right there. Look at that. All right, I don't know if you can read this. Let me even find, okay. All right, do you see what I'm talking about? Look at the writing on that wire. versus the Kwik wire. Let's go ahead and get those two together. Get a good gander at that. All right, can you see that? So that's another thing that I like about Kwik wire. I want you to look at the hot wires. This would be this is your starter battery wire. Look how thick that is. 10 gauge, I believe, or 12. We got our alternator wire, very thick wire. We got our neutral safety switch, very easy to read, very, very easy. A pink coil wire. Do you see there? That wire that I showed you, this one here. Here's the other guys. All right. This is the coil wire that you're getting with the other guy. Look at this wire. You see what I'm saying? Big, big difference. So every wire harness that you get is grouped in its own group. Another thing that Kwik wire does that I don't know if any other company does is it goes ahead and it also includes your speaker wire, all right, for two speakers, a left and a right. It includes that with your radio wire harness. And that comes with every wire harness that Kwik wire makes. Now I want to go ahead and I want to mention that most street rod slash vintage car slash collector car hot rods are all based around the General Motors era. And when I say that, I'm talking about wire code coloring, all right? Do you see what I'm talking about? These are our brake wires. That's for our brake light switch. Okay, and then these would be for our headlights, all right? Very, very easy explained. But yeah, most of your wire harnesses that you get, even if you're wiring up a Mopar, they're all going to be in the same era of color coding. Most street rods or aftermarket products that you're going to use to build your car is going to use a General Motors standard issue type steering column. If you use a steering column such as an aftermarket I did it steering column, it's going to have the General Motors steering column hookup. Another good thing that Kwik wire provides, it provides all the connections and all the connectors to hook your steering column up properly. All right? It also provides, let me get all this out of here, I'm going to dump it out in the boxes. They also provide all the connectors that go under the dash for your ignition switch, for your wiper switch, and also your headlamp switch if you're going to use the factory option switches. We got the headlight connectors that go right here. These are the harnesses for your headlight harness. And then this is something that's very odd and unusual to get, and I believe that Kwik wire is the only one that gives you that. This is the factory OEM style brake light switch slide-on connector that is required for most brake light switches. There was something else I wanted to show you in here that was pretty cool. This right here, this is a good item. All right, this is for your dimmer switch. All right, instead of taking your 3 wires and just plugging them in and then having 3 of these showing, do you see what I'm saying? It comes with that baby right there. So, and that's a standard issue on all their kits. And then once again, like I said, it comes with all your factory connections to hook up your steering column, whether you're using a GM steering column or what have you. You got your connector right there, so it's a quick plug and play situation instead of like the other guys, an individual wire harness, 1 wire at a time deal. Now I want to go back to the labeling on the wires. I want you to pay close attention that, can you read that label right there? That says alternator exciter wire 14. It even shows you the number wire that you're using, which is a reference into the catalog or the wiring diagram. But I want you to look real close that this wire, all right, so we got that right there, and then you come over here and look how close that is, okay? Let's go ahead and bring this one. Do you see that right there? There's your wiring there, there's your wiring there. Pay close attention to that. That's approximately every 6 or 7 inches, you're gonna have exactly what that wire states that it is. Do you see? Versus the other guy, if you can even read that at all, is about 1 every 20 inches. So that's another angle that these guys offer. So what is the difference from the 8 circuit to the 22 circuit? What the difference is this is basically your in and out, hot rod, rat rod style situation. You don't have power windows, you don't have this, you don't have that, you don't have anything else. All you want to do is get your car wired up. You got your headlights, you got your tail lights, your brake lights. This is just your nice, easy, economy style wire harness that's good for wiring up that situation. The most common one that is used, that I believe, is going to be your 14 circuit wire harness. And what this one's going to come with, it's going to come with your AC unit hookup situation and also your electric fans. This one's the most common one because it has your basic essentials that will give you that Y2K compatible to have air conditioning in your car. Remember, the 8 circuit does not have that, but if you bump it up to the 14 circuit, it does. And then when you get into the 20 and 22 circuit, that's a whole different story. The wire harness that I use mostly, I go ahead and I just break down and I get the 22 circuit. Why do I do that? Because that has everything I need and more. And when I say more, I'm talking about these 2 wire harnesses come with your power windows, your power locks. It's got accessory wire harnesses if you want to put in other stuff besides power windows. And okay, what if you want to put remote doors in? You see what I'm saying? What if you got a power amp that goes to your radio that you want to put in? That's where these 2 wire harnesses come in. They got more circuits to play with, and they're bigger and better options than, of course, the 2 smaller ones. So one more thing I want to go over, and then I'm pretty much done with this situation, is the price. Now you can go with the cheaper guys, like we were looking at earlier, and that's what you're going to get. And then you can go with the more expensive guys, and this is basically what you get right here. All right? You get a piece of wire that you can't read. You need a magnifying glass to handle. You got wire that's approximately 16, 18 gauge instead of the Big Daddy 14 gauge, DWX. Is that what they're calling this? I believe that's your basic issue standard wire size. All right? You don't get that with these guys. They're a pain in the ass, not painless. Let's put it that way. So basically, that's all I got to say about the situation. Here's the wire harnesses right here. This is the real deal. This is what I use. I hope that this answered all the questions for everybody out there. I had a couple callers that wanted me to do a video on wire harness and what's the difference and which one should I get and all this. So like I said earlier, I called these guys up. I told them to send me a banner. Can you send me some wire harnesses? I got to send these back to them. I got to box them up and send them back to them. But I really appreciate them letting me use these to show you the situation of what wire harness to use and the difference between this wire harness versus this wire harness. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete over here at D.I.Y. Auto School, hoping you're learning and hoping you're getting off your lazy ass and doing something with yourself besides sitting here and watching this video. We'll see you later.
Thanks for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.